Let's bring in our political panel now. Bill de Blasio is the former Democratic mayor of New York City, and Chris Sununu is the former Republican governor of New Hampshire. Great to have both of you here. That's the way we do it at NewsNation, a Democrat and a Republican. Governor, I'm going to start with you. Sure. Republicans have been trying to dismantle the DOE for years. They saying, and not incorrectly, that American kids are performing abysmally when it comes to schools. But I got to tell you, a lot of this will just send all the curriculum, I mean, all the funding back to the states.
Great.
Some of the worst performing states are run by Republicans right now.
Well, again, let the states decide. Let the states decide where the dollars for special ed go, where the dollars for free and reduced lunch go. Let the mayors have more of a say. No one has been able to explain what the value add of this federal bureaucracy sitting in Washington is. We might disagree politically. I might disagree with, let's say, a Gavin Newsom, right, politically in California. But believe me, Gavin and his legislature and his administrators and parents and teachers know far more what the needs of those kids are than bureaucrats in Washington. Same for New Hampshire, same for Mississippi, New York City. So it's just reallocating or localizing the control, the funds, the opportunity. And again, when your biggest critics are the head of the unions, nobody cares. Well, nobody cares about the head of the unions on this one. So it's all about the parents and the localities having the say.
And for some reason, oddly, 2/3 of the American public, which is opposed to dismantling the DOE. I want to delve into that polling to figure out why. Mayor de Blasio, what do you think of this move? Is dismantling the DOE going to help at all when the curriculum was already set by the states and those cities before? The DOE didn't do that.
Yeah, Elizabeth, we have a profound problem in this country. It's only going to get worse because of this. That's what I feel. I respect the governor a lot. I respect he's an independent voice. I'll tell you why. Because unlike what the governor said, here's what's going to happen. We're going to have a huge amount of drag when they say, oh, we're going to give all these responsibilities to other departments. I've been to that movie. It doesn't work. It takes forever to transfer those responsibilities, and things don't happen while that's happening. A lot of stuff falls by the wayside. Second, look what's happening around the country with education. We are falling back all the time compared to the rest of the world. We had a huge learning loss because of COVID, and very little has been done about it. And a lot of states and a lot of localities are fighting over everything but how to get kids the best quality education. They're fighting over cultural issues. There's Moms for Liberty. There's all sorts of things happening out there. Look, I'm a believer in local control education. I literally, as mayor of New York City, had responsibility for the largest school system in the United States of America for 8 years. So I'm with the governor on we know best. But if I were to tell you that every state is going to use those dollars well, no, they're going to siphon off those dollars in many cases for other things they need. And so you know who's going to win in this equation? And I don't mean to be hyperbolic here. China wins again. Our nation decides to focus less on education, take away the one place that was actually trying to push the standards for the whole country, and who wins? Our number one competitor when they focus on education every single day and they fund it all the time.
But again, where's the value add? How has the federal Department of Education made your kids' education better, increased those test scores, gotten kids to where they need to be? It just doesn't happen. All the best stuff happens at a local level, right? I get it. The National Teachers Union is scared to death. They're not going to be able to lobby and get what they want out of Washington. Good. They're useless. Look what they did during COVID. They were the #1 group that told schools to keep the classrooms closed, and it was an epic disaster. So by returning those decisions
they were very
locally,
concerned about teachers' health, and I'm not saying teachers' health isn't important, but there seemed to be very little concern. They made a colossal mistake, though. Yeah, a colossal mistake.
You know, I'm going to have a moment of bipartisanship because we reopened schools in September 2020 in New York City.
Earlier.
And I think it was a mistake. And it's not just about the unions. I think a lot of local school boards and other leaders.
It was a mistake to close them.
It was not a mistake to close them if you're in the middle of a crisis. It was a mistake to not reopen as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
And we managed in the biggest system in the country to come back in September 2020. So we actually agree on this
By the way,
point.
how much sooner was that than the rest of the country?
Well, look at California. New York compared to California was night and day.
Right. So, I mean, you're going to find some areas of agreement. But what I think we should be very, very cautious about is I get the point about where's the proof because our schools have not done well, our kids have not done well enough, so therefore, what can you say about Department of Education? I think the first question we have to ask is it actually going to get worse if there's no place pushing for the highest possible standards and making sure that money is distributed fairly? The kids who are hurting the most, unfortunately, lower income kids, kids of color, kids who are hit the hardest, families hit the hardest by COVID. One thing the U.S. Department of Education did do was think about equity and trying to make sure education funding was fair. We're not going to have that anymore. So I would say to you, the reason those polls show that Americans don't want this to happen Nothing's more important I'm a parent, nothing's more important than our
Nothing.
kids' education.
No, I
so you're
totally
taking
agree.
away something that maybe isn't perfect, but I think parents are thinking, wait a minute, this is only gonna get worse.
Thanks so much for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.